Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. Most people walk into a room and say hello like they just woke up from a nap. No energy, no spark, no flavor. And you wonder why folks don't remember you, why you walk into a place and leave and nobody even turned their head, because you're saying what everybody else is saying. Hello is safe. Hello is common. But you ain't common. You're trying to be unforgettable. First impressions are made in seconds. Your greeting sets the entire tone. Think about that for a minute. Before you've even said anything meaningful, before you've had a chance to explain who you are, what you do, or why you matter, someone has already formed an impression of you. All it takes is a few seconds. That's the moment where they decide whether they're going to tune in or tune out. And do you know what usually sets that impression? It's your greeting. That very first thing you say, the way you say it, the look in your eyes, the expression on your face, the energy you bring, that's what people remember. That's the moment that either pulls them in or pushes them away. Now, here's the part most people miss. They think a greeting is just a formality, something we say out of habit. Hello, hi, hey. Those words come out so easily, so automatically, we don't even think about them. But that's exactly the problem. We don't think about them. And because we don't think about them, we don't own them. We're just repeating what we've heard 1,000 times. And guess what? So is everyone else. So when you walk into a room and say hello, you sound like everyone else. Nothing special, nothing memorable, just another face with another boring word. But when you understand that first impressions happen fast and that your greeting sets the tone for the entire interaction, you start to realize just how powerful that moment really is. Imagine if instead of blending in, you stood out right from the start. Imagine if the first thing you said made someone smile, made them laugh, made them stop and notice you. That's what a great greeting can do. That's what flipping the script can accomplish. You go from forgettable to unforgettable in one sentence. You take control of the moment. You become the person people remember. And it's not about being loud or flashy. It's about being intentional. It's about putting thought and heart into your words. It's about understanding that communication isn't just about exchanging information. It's about exchanging energy. When you greet someone with energy, with purpose, with something different than what they're used to, they feel it. They feel your presence. They feel your confidence. They feel your vibe. And that's what creates connection. That's what opens the door to deeper conversation. That's what makes them want to know more about you. We live in a world that's busy, distracted, and full of noise. People are scrolling, swiping, checking out. They're not paying attention. So when someone finally comes along and brings a fresh energy into their space, when someone shows up and says something real, something unexpected, something bold, they notice, they stop, they look up. And in that pause, that moment of surprise or delight or curiosity, you've created impact. You've planted a seed. You've made a mark. And all of that comes from the first thing you say. It comes from understanding that your greeting isn't just a word, it's a window. A window into your personality, a glimpse of your energy, a preview of what it's like to be around you. So when you step into a room, when you meet someone new, don't waste that moment with something lazy. Don't let hello be the only thing they remember. Bring something more. Bring something that reflects you. Say something that lights up the room, lifts the mood, and locks in attention. That's how you turn a first impression into a lasting one. That's how you set the tone for everything that comes next. Hello is too generic. Use something that sparks emotion or curiosity. That one little word, hello. It's like pressing play on a song everybody's already heard 1,000 times. It's expected, overused, and honestly, it doesn't move people anymore. We've heard it so much that it doesn't even register. It doesn't grab attention. It doesn't spark interest. It's just noise. When you greet someone with hello, you're not opening a door, you're just checking a box. But if you want people to really feel your presence, to connect with you, to remember you, you've got to say something different. You've got to start with something that touches a nerve, opens their heart, or wakes up their curiosity. Human beings are emotional creatures. We don't just respond to words, we respond to how words make us feel. If your greeting sounds like an answering machine, people will treat you like one. But if your greeting makes someone feel surprised, intrigued, or even seen in a way they didn't expect, you've instantly created a spark. Think about it. When someone looks you in the eye and says, "Now this day just got better," or "I've been waiting to meet someone like you," or even a playful, "You look like you got a story I need to hear," you stop in your tracks. You feel something. It lands differently. You lean in. Why? Because that greeting wasn't just polite, it was personal. It had emotion. It had a hook. It carried meaning. And here's what's wild about this. It doesn't take a whole paragraph, just a sentence, just a shift in tone, just a few carefully chosen words that carry intention. Instead of "hi," try "there you are." Instead of "how are you," try "I was hoping I'd run into you today." It's about choosing language that adds color to the moment, that paints an emotional picture, that grabs someone's attention, not with volume, but with value. When your words add value, even just a little, you stand out. You elevate the energy in the room. We're in a time where people are more disconnected than ever. Everyone's caught up in their own world. Heads down, eyes on their screens, hearts closed off. So when you show up and speak in a way that feels intentional and genuine, it cuts through the static. It becomes memorable. Because most people aren't trying to be memorable. They're trying to be comfortable. They're playing it safe. But comfort doesn't create impact. Risk does. Creativity does. Boldness does. When you say something unexpected, something with warmth, something clever, something sincere, you shake people awake. You give them something fresh. You change the emotional temperature of the interaction. The truth is, curiosity is magnetic. If your greeting makes someone curious about who you are, why you said that, or what you'll say next, you won. Curiosity is what makes people want to keep talking to you. It's what makes them feel like there's something different about you, that you're not like everyone else who just walks by and says hello. Curiosity draws people in. It builds anticipation. It creates the feeling that you've got something interesting going on, something worth exploring. And that feeling, that emotional pull, is what makes people want to stay connected. So the next time you open your mouth to greet someone, pause. Ask yourself, is this just noise, or is this something they'll feel? Is it just routine, or does it hold the power to shift the moment? Your greeting is the spark that starts the fire. Don't waste it on autopilot words. Don't blend into the background. Use that very first sentence to light something up inside the other person. Something emotional, something playful, something real. Because when you do, you don't just start a conversation, you start a connection. And that's what people remember. Not the hello, but how you made them feel right from the start. People crave connection. Say something that makes them feel special instantly. No matter who they are, where they're from, or what they've been through, every single person walking this earth wants to feel seen, heard, and valued. It's built into our human nature. We're wired for connection. From the moment we enter a room, we're scanning for someone who might understand us, acknowledge us, or simply notice us in a real way. But so often people just move through life like ghosts. Interactions feel transactional. Words are spoken out of habit, not from the heart. So when you meet someone and you say something that makes them feel special, you instantly set yourself apart. It's not about being smooth or clever. It's about being present. When you greet someone and you say something that shows you actually see them, not just another face, not just another person in the room, but them, you create a moment. That moment sticks. It doesn't matter if it's your first time meeting or your 100th time seeing them. What matters is that your words make them feel unique. And let me tell you something, people never forget the ones who make them feel special. You ever notice how you remember someone who said something that lifted your spirit, even if it was years ago? That's because genuine connection imprints itself on the heart. A small compliment, a curious question, a thoughtful greeting, these things leave a mark. So why waste the power of your voice on something ordinary when you could use it to give someone a feeling they'll carry with them all day? All it takes is intention. You look at someone and say, "You always bring the energy up in here," or "I love your vibe every time I see you," or even just, "I'm really glad you're here today." Simple words, huge impact. Because you've just given someone more than a greeting. You've given them a feeling of worth. People are walking around with heavy hearts, distracted minds, and silent insecurities. They're wondering if they matter, if they belong, if anyone even notices them. And you have the power with just your first few words to change that. You can shift someone's day with your energy. You can remind them of their light. You can pull them out of their shell just by greeting them with something deeper than hey. That's powerful. That's influence. And it doesn't take money. It doesn't take fame. It doesn't take a script. It takes sincerity. It takes awareness. It takes care. Don't underestimate what a small, genuine gesture can do for someone's soul. The world's moving fast. People are rushing, avoiding eye contact, keeping their guards up. So when you pause, smile, and greet someone in a way that feels real, you stop time for a second. You make space for connection, and they feel it. You give them something they didn't expect: recognition, appreciation, presence. And whether they show it on their face or not, deep down, they feel lighter, happier, noticed. That kind of energy is contagious. When you make someone feel special, they're more likely to pass that energy forward. You start a ripple effect. Your words might be short, but their impact lasts long after the moment passes. That's the kind of greeting people replay in their mind when they need a boost. That's the kind of presence people look for when they walk into a room. And that's the kind of person you become, not just someone who talks, but someone who connects. So when you open your mouth to greet someone, ask yourself, are you just feeling silence, or are you making someone feel seen? Are you just saying words, or are you creating meaning? The difference is in the intention. The difference is in the heart behind the words. Because people may forget what you said exactly, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. in those first few seconds. And if you can make them feel special, if you can give them a spark of connection, they'll never forget you. Tone and delivery matter just as much as the words you say. You could say the most brilliant, heartfelt, meaningful words in the world, but if your tone is flat, your body language is off, or your energy doesn't match the message, people won't feel it. It'll fly right past them. That's because communication isn't just about words. In fact, a huge part of how people receive you is based on how you say something, not just what you say. Your voice, your face, your eyes, your rhythm, all of it sends a message. And sometimes the nonverbal message is louder than the words coming out of your mouth. You could walk up to someone and say, "Nice to see you," and they might feel nothing, but say those exact same words with a warm smile, with your eyes lighting up, with a little rhythm in your voice and genuine energy behind it. And now suddenly they feel welcomed. They feel valued. They feel like you actually meant it. That's the difference tone and delivery make. It's the difference between empty words and powerful connection. Because people aren't just listening, they're feeling you. They're reading your vibe, your body, your energy. And if your delivery doesn't match the spirit of your message, it won't land. That's why some people can walk into a room, say a few simple words, and everyone stops and pays attention. It's not because they have some secret vocabulary. It's because their presence matches their words. Their tone carries strength. Their voice carries rhythm. Their body language speaks with confidence. They're aligned. What they say, how they say it, and who they are in that moment, it all flows together. That's when communication becomes magnetic. That's when you don't just speak, you move people. We all know someone who can say something ordinary and make it sound powerful just because of how they say it. And we've also seen people try to say something deep, but their delivery falls flat because there's no emotion, no passion, no life behind their words. That's not about what they're saying, it's about how they're saying it. That's the key. You don't have to use fancy words to make a lasting impression. You just have to speak with life, with energy, with heart. Think about your favorite speakers or performers. What makes them unforgettable? It's not just their words. It's their tone, their timing, the pauses they use, the way they raise or soften their voice to make you lean in. They know how to carry a message, how to move energy with their sound. That's what makes people remember them. That's what makes people feel them. And that's something anyone can learn. You don't have to be on a stage to have that kind of power. You just have to become more aware of how you deliver your words, how your energy is coming across. You can say something as simple as, "I'm happy to see you," and it can sound cold or it can sound electric, depending entirely on how you deliver it. So ask yourself, are your words aligned with your tone? Are you rushing through your greeting, or are you letting your voice carry warmth? Are you speaking like someone who truly sees and values the person in front of you, or like someone just going through the motions? These questions matter because people are sensitive. They pick up on the smallest signals. They can feel when your words are real and when they're not. When your delivery is intentional, people feel that. They feel your sincerity. They feel your confidence. They feel your energy. And that's what opens doors. That's what makes people want to keep listening. That's what creates trust, curiosity, and connection. So no matter what greeting you choose, remember that It's not just about the words, it's about how you bring those words to life. Because in the end, the tone of your voice is the music people hear beneath your message. And when that music is tuned right, people don't just listen, they feel it. And when they feel it, they remember you. Flipping a common phrase or using playful language makes you memorable. Most people say the same things every day, often without realizing it. Hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. These phrases are safe, polite, and predictable, but they're also forgettable. When everyone's speaking the same way, you have an opportunity to stand out by doing something just a little different. A twist on a simple phrase can catch someone's attention and shift the entire energy of the moment. It's like walking into a familiar room and suddenly hearing a new sound. You notice it instantly. That's what playful or creative language does. It disrupts the routine in the best way possible. Now, you don't need to be a comedian or a poet to do this. It's not about trying too hard or being over the top. It's about adding a bit of personality, a spark, a twist. Instead of hello, you might say, look who made my day better just by showing up. Instead of hey, you could say, there you are. The energy just improved. These phrases do more than greet. They delight, they surprise. They show that you're bringing intention and flavor to the interaction, not just words out of habit. The truth is, language is one of the most powerful tools we have to shape how people experience us. And when you take a common moment, like a greeting, and make it fresh, you give people something to remember. You take what could have been just another interaction and turn it into a highlight. Think about how rare it is for someone to say something original these days. Most people stick to scripts because it feels easier, but easier doesn't build connection. Easier doesn't leave a mark. If you want to be memorable, you've got to be willing to be creative, even in small ways. Playfulness has its own magic. It makes people smile. It breaks tension. It opens hearts. When your greeting has a little humor, a little charm, or even just a little unexpected rhythm to it, it shifts the mood. People don't forget the ones who made them smile. And sometimes a playful line is all it takes to start a great conversation. People lean in when they hear something new. They respond with curiosity, laughter, or lightness. That's how you create instant chemistry. It also shows confidence. When you flip a phrase or use unexpected language, it signals that you're comfortable enough to play with words. You're not hiding behind generic expressions. You're stepping forward and saying, this is who I am. And confidence is attractive. It makes people trust you, like you, and want to know more about you. Even if the words are light and casual, the impact can be deep because it tells people that you think differently, that you pay attention, that you bring something new. This kind of greeting works especially well when you're meeting someone for the first time. That first moment is a window. You only get one shot to make it count. So instead of giving them the same greeting they've heard all day, give them something they didn't expect, something that makes them pause, laugh, or light up. That's how they'll remember you. That's how your name stays in their mind long after the moment ends. Even in familiar relationships, a flipped phrase keeps the connection fresh. It says, I still want to surprise you. I still want to make you smile. Whether you're walking into a meeting, greeting your partner at home, or texting a friend, choosing to say something a little different keeps things alive. It turns routine into ritual, and ritual, when done with joy and creativity, strengthens bonds. So never underestimate the power of a small twist in language. It may seem simple, but the ripple effect is real. People remember moments that made them feel something, and your greeting can be one of those moments. All it takes is the courage to color outside the lines, just a little, and the awareness to know that even small words spoken playfully can leave a big impression. The right greeting makes people lean in, smile, and want more of your energy. That first moment of interaction holds incredible power. It's the opening line of the conversation, the spark that lights the connection, the first impression of your entire presence. And when you say something that's not just expected, but infused with energy, personality, and warmth, people don't just hear you, they feel you. They feel something shift. They lean in, not because they have to, but because they want to. That's when you know you've said something that hit a little differently. The way you greet someone can act like a magnet. It can pull them closer before a full sentence is even formed. We're naturally drawn to people who radiate good energy, who make us feel welcome, who offer something fresh and uplifting the moment they open their mouths. That's why your first few words matter so much. They tell the other person what kind of experience they're about to have with you, whether you're going to be forgettable or someone they're going to remember all day long. It doesn't take a dramatic entrance or a rehearsed speech. Sometimes the most impactful greetings are the ones that feel the most natural, the most human. A warm "there you are, I was hoping I'd see you today" can change someone's emotional state instantly. It can melt stress, lift self-esteem, or spark joy. When your greeting makes someone smile, you've already made a deposit into that emotional connection. And once they smile, they want to keep that feeling going. That's when they start engaging with you more openly, more freely. That's when the conversation deepens, not because you forced it, but because your energy invited it. People want to be around energy that feels good. Think about the people in your life you love seeing walk into a room. What is it about them? It's not just their outfit or their status. It's the way they greet you. It's the way they acknowledge you. They come in with presence, with purpose, with something that feels like a little boost to your day. That's what the right greeting does. It boosts people. It energizes the atmosphere. It shifts the emotional weather in the room. And when you're the kind of person who consistently greets others in that way, people begin to crave your presence. They look forward to your energy. They want to be around you because you make them feel better about themselves. Not through grand gestures, but through a simple sentence with the right rhythm, the right tone, the right smile. When someone feels that from you, they don't just remember your words, they remember the experience of being around you. That's what makes your presence magnetic. You also have to understand most people aren't used to being greeted like they matter. They're used to being passed by, overlooked, or spoken to with routine politeness, but no real care. So when you come along and greet them with something genuine, something thoughtful, something unexpected, it hits differently. It feels rare. It feels refreshing. And we always want more of what feels good. That's how just a few words can create a ripple that lasts long after the moment ends. Your greeting is your handshake before the handshake. It's your energy before your explanation. And when it's done with heart, with creativity, or with intention, it becomes a tool for influence. It becomes the difference between blending in and standing out. It becomes the start of not just a conversation, but a memory. So when you meet someone or even greet someone you already know, take that moment seriously. Don't rush through it. Don't default to the usual. Use that opening to inject some joy, some wit, or some authenticity. Because when your greeting makes someone feel good, it makes them want more of your presence. And the more they want of your presence, the more powerful your connection becomes. It all starts with the energy in your very first words.